right, how's it going? Today, my topic that I'm going to be covering is obesity and all the risk factors that are commonly associated with obesity, some of which are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, sleep apnea, and certain cancers. And pretty much it's all due to obesity. And they just have some numbers. They did some case studies with different places, and all of these did have some type of correlation with obesity. What is obesity? Obesity is a condition where a person has accumulated so much body fat that it might have a negative effect on their health. If a person's body weight is at least 20% or higher, then it should be he or she is considered obese. They talk about BMI is between 25 and 29.9, you're considered overweight. And if your BMI is 30 or over, then you're considered obese. The cost, so it's pretty costly. Obesity. So the prevalence of obesity was 39.8% and affected about 93.3 million of U.S. adults, and this was taken in 2015, between 2015 and 2016. The estimated annual cost for obesity in the U.S. was $147 billion, and that was in 2008. And the medical cost for people who have been obese were $1,429 than a normal weighted person, in lack of better words. And this was taken from the CDC. Contributing factors. So obesity, its etiology is multifactional, involving complex interactions among the genetic background, hormones, and different social and environment factors such as sedentary lifestyles and unhealthy dietary habits. So inactivities and just poor eating habits usually is like one of the main factors that causes obesity. I know that like medications as well, depending on what medication someone might be taking, some of the side effects that have like unnecessary gain weight or, like a hormonal imbalance can cause it as well too. But the main causes of obesity is due to inactivity and unhealthy eating habits. Risk factors, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, stroke, and cancers. So we're just going to go into some of these risk factors and just cover it briefly. Cancer, being overweight or obese raises your risk for colon, breast, endometrial, and gallbladder cancers. Case study in Australia, the cancer cases all were attributed to obesity, and it was 3,917 cancer cases, and they were all due to obesity. They developed 1,101 developed colon cancer, 971 female postpartum developed breast cancer, 595 endometrial cancer. And so the highest PAF were observed for esophageal and kidney cancer. And the prevalence of overweight obesity in Australia had remained at levels prevalent in 1990. We estimate there would have been 820 fewer cancers diagnosed in 2010. So again, they're saying if the correlation is if the obesity population were lower, they would have lower levels of cancers, all the cancers that were covered here. They would have a lower prevalence of developing these cancers if the population were within normal weight limits. Type 2 diabetes, it's a disease in which the body's blood glucose, so blood sugar, the levels is too high. Normally, the body breaks down food into glucose and then carries it to cells throughout the body. The cells use a hormone called insulin to turn the glucose into energy. In type 2 diabetes, the body cells don't use insulin properly at first, and the body reacts by making more insulin over time. However, the body can't make enough insulin, control its body sugar levels. Diabetes is the leading cause of early death and coronary heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, and blindness. Most people who do have type 2 diabetes are usually overweight. Again, case study, 4,728 subjects were studied over or equal to 20, and respectively 1.4, 3.6, and 7.8 for normal and overweight obese subjects, respectively. So within that time period of 3.6 years followed, all of these people that were followed developed type 2 diabetes, and all of them pretty much were between the overweight and the obese category. They had a lower population of 1.4% of normal weight population that did develop it, but we have the higher numbers leading to the obese and overweight category. Heart disease. your body mass index rises, so does your risk for coronary heart disease. And it's a condition in which a waxy substance called plaque builds inside the coronary arteries. These arteries supply oxygen-rich blood to your heart. So if it's blocked, obviously your body doesn't receive that oxygen-rich blood. And plaque can narrow block the coronary arteries and reduce blood flow to the heart muscles. This can cause angina or heart attack. And obesity can lead to heart failure. This is a serious condition in which your heart can't pump enough blood to meet your body needs. Comparative study was done in Iran, USA, and Spain, and it just shows the numbers of the coronary heart disease and diabetes and high cholesterol, all the factors again that with obesity, it can cause heart failure. High cholesterol, overweight or obese, you're at an increased risk of having abnormal levels of blood fats. These include your HDLs and your LDLs, the good cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and abnormal levels of the bad fats, your LDLs, your triglycerides. It can reduce your risk of developing coronary heart disease. High blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against the walls of the arteries as the heart pumps blood. If the pressure rises and stays high over time, it can cause the body damage in many ways. Your chances of having high blood pressure are greater if you're overweight. Central province of Iran, a case study for hypertension. It's joint effective obese and abnormal obesity in females was highest. They had a higher prevalence of hypertension. And it's saying that prevalence of hypertension is high in more developed provinces. PRL suggests that a stabilized share of hypertension in these provinces is associated with obesity. It is recommended that health promotion programs focus on obesity in the provinces with a high share of hypertension due to obesity. Stroke. So being overweight or obese can lead to buildup of plaque in your arteries, which we covered before. Eventually, an area of plaque can rupture, causing a blood clot to form. If the clot is close to your brain, it can block the flow of blood and oxygen to your brain and causes a stroke. So as you see, all of these, the cancer, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, all these things play a major part together with the obesity. That could lead to, other ailments being formed. And the risk of having a stroke raises as the BMI increases again. Public health programs, early care and education, environments for childcare and early education facilities. So directly impact what children consume and how active they are, as well as develop a foundation of healthy eating habits and like having salad bars at school. So pretty much teaching your kids from early, proper eating habits and worksite, workability, and other tools to design to assist pedestrians, facilities, the designation and surroundings along and near a walking route and identify specific improvements that will make the route more attractive and useful to pedestrians. So it's just encouraging us to walk a lot more, so being active again, eating healthily, it can reduce the levels of your chance of being obese or overweight. Steps to Wellness, it's a guide implementing in 2008 physical activity guidelines for Americans in the workplace. It's a toolkit that helps employers create or expand wellness programs by increasing physical activities of employees. And we're just going to go over, we have the references and stuff. So again, it's just all the correlation of obesity, the risk factors that are involved. It's, they're all caused by being overweight. And with the numbers to back it up, the proof is there.